Hey everybody, welcome to the Family Bloodline Podcast. I'm your girl Wanda.
I'm your girl Che.
Hi, everybody. I'm T'Airra Phillips. These are my cousins and my aunt.
Yes.
I am a special education teacher.
Awesome.
I am Jatauan or Jay. These are my
Hey Jay.
beautiful cousins. My brother is usually here. James is my little brother.
You might be
I am a licensed mental health therapist, and of course, I am a Libra, as I'm sure you guessed.
Oh, okay.
Did y'all see that? What was it? A YouTube video that went viral about that man that was saying, "I take care of my family. I held it down all these years, and I was all I could think about was, but you forgot that doesn't you're providing, but that's only part of being
Okay.
the head of your household and sitting on
Like
your
a
throne.
million other
I
things
think I
that
may have
There's
missed
more
that one.
to that because I think his wife ended up wanting a divorce. It says you're a provider, but there's more to
That's it,
Are you
right.
nurturing their hearts? Are you nurturing your woman's heart?
Mm.
And so I'm just thinking about what Fat said, piggybacking off of it. Yeah, and Dirt. Hey, I'm providing, but there's more to being a man that a
Yeah.
lot of our men did not learn.
They
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
family
Correct. And
I'm gonna fix my life.
Oh, I'm gonna have to find it.
Yeah.
like Che
I
and
love
Wanda,
that show.
like when we talk amongst each other, I told them I like, man, I think I found the perfect balance in my life with my lady, my kids, my friends. You know what I'm saying? Outside of work, you know what I'm saying? I think I finally got a good
Nice.
balance. You know what I'm saying?
Good.
Where like my universe is rolling. You know what I'm saying? Like it's spinning the right way I need it to spin because I'm taking care of everything that I need to. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
they'll test me. All three of them will tell you. I tell them all the time. I'll be like, I'm good. I got a good balance. So yeah. So it's much more than providing for me. You know what I'm
It
saying?
is.
And then it came from me dealing with past relationships, like for us being divorced, so you live and learn, pretty much.
Here's
Absolutely.
here's a question that kind of brings up y'all wanted, since we're getting into it. I think what we are faced with which I think that our grandparents weren't, or our parents weren't, because a lot of our parents had, some of them, more of them had two parents in the home, believe it or not, is the lack of a blueprint. Fat and I
Mm.
have a lack of a blueprint of what healthy parenting looks like. I'm just gonna keep it real. You know what I'm saying? Period. A lot of us lack that blueprint.
Yeah.
And so we don't know what the hell we doing. We learning as we go. And I think there's strength in numbers. I wish there more of us kind of got together in groups.
Yeah.
And like I said, we're open and say, and admitted, I don't know what the hell to do about this or what's going
Yeah.
on here. This is how I'm feeling. Even men's groups, etc. Men,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. We have a
Hmm.
blueprint.
That would be great. And it's the same, and I know this is totally off subject, but I'm just gonna say financial too. No blueprint, just threw you out as 18-year-old and like figure it out. Like, when it comes to money and finances. So anyways,
Mhm.
I just want to throw that out.
My daughter ain't never leaving.
Yeah,
Uh,
it was some of my friends
oh
that
yes,
got
she
their first
will.
bank account. They got like in their 20s. There's a lot
Hmm.
of a lot of black males I know that got their first bank account later in life, as opposed to
Hmm.
coming up at
Yeah.
Mhm.
parents already
Yeah.
having that set up for you. Like, boom, you go put your money up, you
Yeah.
All
do this.
I
right.
think I didn't get my first one until I was 15. That's because that's when I started working.
Yeah,
But
that was what I'm saying.
yeah,
Shoot,
but
that's
like
early
we
for a lot of
we yeah,
people.
like we set up the like we're setting up the girls' bank account and like we're explaining to them like financial
It's a
responsibility.
must.
And because like one of them was like, oh, I ain't never moving out. The other like, oh, when I turn 21, and I go to school. So I'm like, you ain't never going nowhere. I'm like,
I know which is which too.
I seen
so
your
I
TikTok.
was like,
Yeah, I
so
wish I
I'm
could
like,
keep the
I was like,
kids at
well,
home.
first of all, I'm like, y'all don't have to go anywhere until you're ready. Honestly, you don't have to go nowhere until you get ready to get married if you don't want to.
Oh,
But
girl.
like, that's another subject for another
Yeah,
time. But
that
I was
is
like,
another one.
yeah. So I was like, yes. I mean, I just don't want to feel like when you turn 18, you gotta go because that's
Yeah,
another thing that we have in our community.
right.
Because My friends didn't have to move out when they was 18.
I don't
So
think I had to
grew up
move out,
earning.
but I wanted to though. I was out of there.
What'd you say, Fat? Me too.
We grew up earning.
Oh, heck yeah. It's
I
hard.
mean, she didn't do it to Candy. Don't get me wrong, but
Right.
we still grew up earning.
Yeah.
That's why when I was 17 and a half, I joined the United States Army.
Yeah.
And I dip set for a little bit. I came home, felt uncomfortable because I'm all of 18 and I ain't got my own place. So I need to figure some stuff out.
Right.
Year or two later, I end up
And
being down at Oakwood, you know, and I've been back home since.
Yeah, I don't want that. Like you said, I want to give her time to develop who she is. Like you said, she ain't got to go. She can go to college. Now, well, my child depends on the child. My child, I highly doubt it. She ain't gonna stay.
I think it's a fine line. You
But
gotta
I
be
wouldn't
careful with that
mind.
too.
Yeah, there is no push to kick her out of here.
Right.
Look at other.
Yeah,
Look at Indian
that's the
culture.
only point I was trying to
Look at
make. There's
Asian
no
cultures,
rush.
etc. Yeah, they don't do that to their kids. You know, like my dad didn't do it. I will say that because I ended up living with him when the summer after I graduated. He said, you can either go to college, stay here. You ain't got to pay no rent or nothing. I know you want your own company. I would do. No, I didn't even have to. He didn't say that, Fat. No,
you made me work.
He said you got to go. Oh, when I was a teenager, I did. But he said you can go to college full time, and I won't charge you rent, but you got to keep your grades up, and you can stay. You know, you won't have to. You can just stay for free, or you can go to the military. One of the two, but you can't sit home and do nothing. But he said I could stay. He was gonna do the whole basement. He's like, I will redo the basement so you can have your privacy. I won't bother you.
We would have had an issue.
All right, everybody, that was a great conversation. While we were talking about this topic, Dirt and Wanda put out on our Facebook page a question to our bloodliners, which was, if you had an opportunity to ask a mental health professional one question, what would it be? And one of our Facebook fans, thank you very much, T'Airra Sanders sent us a question, and the question is, how do you ask someone with mental health issues about their mental health?
I wouldn't label it. First of all, how do you ask somebody about their mental health? Honestly, it ain't your damn business.
See?
No, it's nobody's business unless they decide to share it. Now,
right.
And I think that if it is disruptive, remember we talked about, relational, occupational, social, educational. So if it's disruptive in one of those areas and you're saying, hey, I noticed that, I would name the behavior. Mm-hmm. That way you're not labeling or insulting someone. Right. You're just highlighting a behavior and saying, do you mind helping me to understand? I noticed you did A, B, C, D, and E. Can you help me to understand why you did these things? Mm-hmm. That's how I would ask it. Okay. Remember, don't take out the descriptive words and the judgment.
Right. Yeah. Judgment. Right.
Mm-hmm. That was the thing with reading question, and that's why I use the term all night long tonight on behaviors. When I was asking questions, because I see more behaviors than what I'm saying. I think something is not normal. You know what I'm saying? It's a consistent like. Bro, why you keep doing this? Or why, what I'm saying? Why does this keep happening? You know what I'm saying? So that's why I use behaviors like you were saying, Jatauan, as opposed to just like, you got a problem.
What you
know
diagnosed
what I'm saying?
Or,
Great.
I think to piggyback off of that too, you do want to talk about the behaviors that you are witnessing, but also go to them with resources. Like, don't just say, hey, I'm noticing this, what's going on. Say that, but also be like, if you do want to talk to someone, here's this number.
Yeah, put it on.
If you want to talk to someone, like give them a resource.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I have a question for our professional mentally dealing with anxiety. Like when it makes you, I don't want to say physically sick, but like you're like a nervous wreck because of anxiety. What are about 10 steps you can do outside of medication? Maybe 5 steps outside of medication you can do to help subside anxiety?
Depending on the level of anxiety, because remember, anxiety is physiological. So there is a strong or genetic component to it. So there's because you literally have a strong physical sensations. Like when people have anxiety attacks, it literally feels like they're dying. So, and so if you have intense clinical anxiety, unfortunately, you may have to seek psychotropic medication or holistic remedies. You know what I'm saying? But aside from that, in conjunction to that, there is a technique called 5-4-3-2-1. There is, cognitive behavioral therapy teaches you to start being aware of your environmental triggers, which could be a person, place, or a thing that makes you feel a certain way, or if it actually makes you have a thought, and the thought makes you feel, or vice versa, and then the behavior comes out of that. So basically, those are therapy sessions people have to undergo, and you have to start becoming aware. What am I thinking when I'm feeling this? What's making me feel? What are the triggers? What are the common denominators? As far as triggers when this happens. Sometimes it may not be. It seemingly may not be, but then sometimes you sit down and start to become aware. You're like, every time I smell chitlins, I get anxious. Maybe you got a beat down.
You got to bring up the
You
chitlins.
first want to get to that damn pot, baby.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you got burned.
In his house.
But here's a classic example. Okay, Uncle JB, God bless his soul. We lived with him at one point, and he had this big pot of spaghetti. One time, he used to make the best spaghetti, aside from Fat Man's. He made some really good. And it was hot and boiling. I was starved, and I remember, and they said it was time to eat. I was so hungry. I ran in and got a bowl. Basically, I spilled it on me. It was so hot. They would take her pants off because they were afraid it was going to burn. The pants was going to burn. My mom and them was saying something like it was going. Basically, it scalded me.
Oh my goodness!
So, when I was a younger, I did not like spaghetti for a long time. For years, and I still don't make it that often. And and so or I feel a certain way around spaghetti. I used to feel a little uneasy, even as an adult. And I had to think about, where did that come from? When I was making sauce, I would back up a little bit and get a little anxious. Because I burnt the hell out of myself when I was younger. So I was triggered. So spaghetti triggered anxiety. You know what I'm saying? When I'm around spaghetti, the smell and the sight triggered thoughts of it. Oh my gosh, I'm going to burn myself, which triggered the feeling of anxiety.
Okay. So
becoming aware of thoughts, feelings, and behaviors associated with the anxiety can help.
Yeah.
But then there's EFT, EFT, which is tapping to help you deal with anxiety and PTSD. There's a lot of different kind of methods. There's meditation, there's mindfulness, there's waves, guided imagery, and seeing waves and imagining anxiety as a wave. But
that was a great question.
I think with me going to counseling to help my anxiety, because I learned a lot of techniques. Simply just touching something that's cold or hot, it'll shift your brain to, oh, that's really cold, or oh, that's really hot, or running your hands under warm or cold water, closing your eyes and just thinking about a peaceful moment. For me, what gets me is music. I love music. I listen to music all day long. Music is playing all day in my classroom.
That's a good one.
Whenever I'm upset or sad or any type of mood, if I want to just ground myself and bring myself back together, I turn on some music. Come on, y'all, we finna do a brain break. Stand up, everybody, let's do a brain break.
Nice.
So you can learn different techniques: exercising, meditation. I got this Calm app on my phone that I use to help me meditate. Yoga. There's lots of different techniques. I know, sometimes my anxiety gets triggered when I exercise because my grandpa died of an asthma attack. So that triggers me, and it terrifies me. So yeah. I just got to take a step back though and be like, T'Airra, you're not dying. You're okay. Right. Breathe. You're fine. You can breathe, because if you couldn't, you'd be coughing. So you're fine.
Yeah. It just rolls into the next question, which was, what advice would you give people dealing with mental health? But I feel like we just answered that question pretty much.
Seek a professional. Go to a professional.
Yeah.
So don't talk to your friends. Don't talk to your wife, your husband, your homeboy. That's above their pay grade, unless they are
a real
medical professional.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, Jesus is not a therapist.
Yes. Yes.
you know, yeah, people think church or pastors. In fact, I heard you mention religion a few times, and you know how I think about it. I had to talk to my dad about that because he's a pastor, and he was like, "Well, people," and I think that everybody, perhaps, if pastoral care is their ministry, music is somebody else's gift. God gives some people with the gift of therapy in that way. You know, I think He puts us all here for different reasons, and we all have different gifts. Amen.
Definitely.
Agreed.
So
Yeah.
we thank you guys for all that advice
so
for
stupid.
people dealing with, mental health issues. We're going to wrap this up just giving some great references for people. I know, T'Airra, you said you had a few references you want to read off, and but since we already have a family member, Jatauan,
Hello.
Yes.
let's start with you. Let's start with the family reference first. Let the people know how to get in touch with you, cousin. Let
Oh,
them know.
yes. Yes, I do online therapy. Thank you. Yes. I am on a few panels or cash. JATAUANJ at gmail.com. Just hit me up and we can schedule a session.
Awesome. Go ahead, T'Airra.
Okay, so my number one go-to that I give to everybody is the National Suicide Prevention Hotline. You don't necessarily have to feel like that you are about to commit suicide to call this number. If you're experiencing any type of mental distress, call this number and they can help you. You can tell them, "Hey, I don't have insurance." Like Fat was saying about the different socioeconomic statuses. If you don't have insurance, you don't have money, they can find you programs that are either free or income based. So that number is 1-800-273-8255, and that's the National Suicide Prevention Hotline number. The other um, reference that I would like to talk about is the National Alliance for Mental Health Illnesses. It's called NAMI for short. They also offer free counseling as well as free group sessions. Their phone number is 800-950-6264. So whether you're rich, poor, homeless, whatever the case may be, you can get yourself some help.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And
Thanks,
for
T'Airra.
all of our military affiliated
Oh yeah.
friends and family, you can always reach out to militaryonesource.com. Militaryonesource.com. They will get you screened in. You'll get some free sessions. They'll set you up in your area, and it'll be no cost to you.
Awesome.
If you're in Florida, thank you, James. Camaraderie Federation, free therapy, and go to your local VA. 211 and with United for several states, free mental health. They even have in some states like Florida, they will dispatch a professional to you 24 hours a day for mental health emergencies.
Right. Great.
And
good references. And
And
we're
also
gonna have all of that.
suicide.
There are tons of apps too that you can download to your phone. Some of them charge you weekly, some of them charge you monthly. So if you don't have transportation, you can also contact a counselor or therapist virtually. So you don't necessarily have to get up and travel or go anywhere.
Right.
Now the apps aren't free, but there are several. Like one is Regain. That's the one I use personally. And it's amazing. So.
And we're going to have all this information available for you guys who are watching. We're going to put it in the description of the video. Also, should have a tag on the end of the video as well. So, well, you know what, guys? I had a great time talking to you guys today.
Thank you, guys.
So much fun. Thank you, T'Airra. Thank you, Jatauan, for coming on to the Family Bloodline podcast, talking to us about mental health and wellness. Hopefully we can get back together and do this again.
I know we're gonna get the ladies back. We're gonna have us a ladies chat because some of the stuff that we were talking about earlier.
Okay. Everybody
so
but Fat. Can we do it
for that?
Everybody but Fat. Can we do a round of applause? This is our round of applause. Round of applause. You gotta go around.
So thanks, y'all.
Yeah, thank you for coming on. I hope everybody have a good night, a good day, whatever it is. Okay. Love you guys.
Love you too.
Everybody say bye.
Love y'all.
Love y'all. Good night.
Somebody come take my dog out. This lady. Bye, y'all.